What's up, everybody? It's Ask the Young One with CreateHigherVibrations.com. Today I wanted to make a quick video and talk a little bit about isolation. I get asked a lot about it, and a lot of people talk about how they've been left by their friends after being discarded by a narcissist. A lot of their family and a lot of the people that they were always close to kind of just went away. And it becomes very lonely. It becomes very distracting with the loneliness. And so I wanted to make a quick video just to kind of give a different perception and hopefully plant a different seed for you and a different way to kind of view the isolation. Some things, you know, even with my own experience, I pretty much I went through isolation. It wasn't necessarily that it was forced by the narcissist, when pretty much it was. I mean, because the entire marriage became their friends, their family, and once that ended, then those friends, that family went away. Like because they all want to, you're the bad guy now. No one cares about humanity. No one cares about the human and the person, and therefore the relationship, friendships, none of that meant anything. And some of you may be experiencing this, and some of you could have went through this. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about kind of what I learned about the isolation. And yes, it is lonely, but there's something inside of it that it's teaching us, and this is kind of what the path really took me on when it came to isolation. And I didn't sit and just isolate, like put myself in the middle of a mountain in the woods and just nothing around. I mean, I had wonderful neighbors that I actually became extremely close with, because the friends and the friendships that were accumulated over this marriage went away. They fall in line with the smear campaign, or they become a flying monkey, and you just realize it and you don't want them around you, so you just cut communication, or whatever it may be. So you kind of start to learn and feel your way through it, and then you kind of start to embrace the alone time that many of us think is isolation. And so stick with me on this, but in my own experience, like I said, it wasn't like I was locked in 24/7 in complete isolation or anything like that, because I did have beautiful and wonderful neighbors and people real close to me next door, and things like that, and other parents that my daughter would play with, and stuff like that at times I had no problem where I could go and just sit and kind of experience normalcy a little bit again, through their lives, while also embracing what I was experiencing and understanding the experience. And so for me, and this is the seed I want to plant for the people that are dealing with isolation or feeling isolated or feeling lonely. Take this time, like literally, like when if we believe in God, or we believe in Allah, or we believe in the Buddha, or we believe in the universe, whatever it is for us, then we know that it's working for our greatest good. Like if we have faith in this path, in this journey, that things are happening for our greatest good. And this is what I want to plant for you with the isolation, is that to take that opportunity and kind of really dig deep into your perspective or your perception of the isolation. Really engage in that and what it's actually showing you. For me, at the end, when I'm able to go in hindsight, like this is all very raw when you're right in the middle of it, and then when you're actually going through it and you're actually experiencing it. because you start to yearn for things that you were always comfortable having before. You really yearn for these things again. And then a lot of times, if we're not balanced and we're not grounded and we're not embracing our journey or our path in this healing process, we'll easily fall back into seeking this out to fulfill that yearning. And so the isolation for me, and I actually kind of I don't know what the word is exactly, but I kind of actually embraced it. Like I wanted it, almost to an extent. And here's why: because it allowed me to focus on myself. It allowed me to put all that time into my own self. And within doing that, it allowed me to find who I am as a person. It allowed me to connect to the divine in my heart. And it allowed me to understand the disconnect that was going on between the heart and the mind. It allowed me to truly begin to see the bigger picture. You know, it's almost like I saw this beautiful post on Instagram, and it just resonated so much, because it said, you know, the universe will isolate you in order for you to find yourself. And in order for you to do that, it will remove friendships, it will remove relationships. And that's very difficult for a lot of us to understand. But in hindsight, it's doing this for a greater purpose. It's doing this so that we can find our true path and our purpose in this world and in this life. And that is the goal at the end of it. Finding your true nature and essence within, and finding your working yourself back without the distractions of false and fake friends and fake people and fake relationships and illusions and outside conditioning and needing this to do it and all that. Look at it and change it, because just like that post, and it really resonated so much, because that's exactly what it did for me. And it's like changing our perception of why we are in this moment right now, isolated and alone, because it's time to go in. It's time to start the work, and we can only do that ourselves. And if we have all this chatter from these fake friends and from family that just wants you to stay the same and whatever it may be, we're not going to realize what we will realize when we spend this much time within ourselves and alone. And here's what I can assure you when it comes to seeking out, becoming less isolated and seeking more, into society, is you're going to be able to see people on a much deeper level. You're going to be able to see people and then make the choice of whether or not that's the type of person that's your tribe, that's your soul tribe, that's your, that you could invest in or put time into, and that they would do the same. Like, it really opens your world up. And so I wanted, the basic of this video is to really just like, plant that seed, instead of seeing the pure, instead of seeing the loneliness and the yearning and all the things and all these things, flip that around and try to see what you can gain from this moment and from this time of isolation and from this time of being by yourself and from this time of really embracing and taking things in and creating new habits and creating new beliefs and learning to get to know who you are from this place and instead of this place, and instead of use this time of isolation to truly embrace the unmet emotional needs that you've always seeked out from other people, and start learning, like embracing that. And it's whether it's through coaching, or if you want to join the Inside Out project, whatever, these are all the things that we do. But I wanted to really touch on, because I know when you go through the narcissistic abuse and you're discarded, isolation becomes a big problem. And so I wanted to make a video and just give a different perspective, a different perception of how that time could be used, and really a deeper understanding of what this bigger picture, this bigger powers are showing you. You have like this, I'm going to do another video based on this, about the power of perception and beliefs within our inner being. And it's like we have this bubble above us, and that is our universe. And so we have to embrace in that. It's like every person has this bubble above them, and it's their experiences, their beliefs, their universe. And we can learn during this time to really get to be able to read that within people and really truly understand who we are. Therefore, we know where we want to go and what we want to do. And most of all, we can probably learn so much more about our actual journey and path on this life. And so I wanted to just talk about that real quick, and again, plant the seed for you, and just bring a different perception to the whole thing, and put it out there. So with that, I think that's it. I think that's pretty much all I wanted to say. If you are feeling isolated, you can always reach out to people. Sometimes you'll get to know people that you maybe otherwise would not have gotten to know. But at the same time, embrace that time, and really truly become aware and truly start kind of, dictating what you do, whether it's, I want to go walk at the mall for an hour so I'm not completely alone, and I'm learning to observe. Embrace what this path and this situation and this stuff is teaching you. And so I wanted to just throw this out there in a video and create a different perspective, different perception of isolation. I hope this resonates with some people. I hope it kind of, something to think about. And if it does, leave a comment. If you think this will help someone else, please share it. But with that, I will go for now, and I hope everything is beautiful in your world. I really do. As hard of a world as we're in, we can truly find this inner happiness, this inner joy, and realize that most of this outside material world is exactly what it is. So with that, I will go and talk to you on the next video. Namaste.